I'm like, yeah, I'm like, wow. She poppin' and droppin', she rockin' topless, don't stop it. Got me deep in my pockets, I'm about to give her my wallet, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, wow. I'm like, wow, work it out. I'll pull up, put it down. I see you through the crowd. Leave your friends coming now. She poppin' and droppin', she rockin' topless, don't stop it.
So today we're able to bring you some really good info on two units. Right here we have a Turbo R4 Ultimate. So this is the 4-seater version of the Turbo R, but we're also able to bring you some information on a Turbo R 2-seater that we'll get to in just a second. But to kind of give you a breakdown on this one, we're going to kind of go through it. I know there's a lot of videos out there, I know there's a lot of information, but we're going to kind of give you some of the things, the reasons that we picked the Turbo R over any other of the other Polaris platforms. So this one here, like I said, is Turbo R4 Ultimate. The Turbo R starts at the base MSRP at $31,900. This one's an Ultimate Edition, so MSRP's for $39,599. The Ultimate Edition, I went with it for multiple reasons. The biggest thing is it comes Ride Command equipped. I wanted to have the Ride Command moving forward. It is the first year with the Dynamics DV valve system on the live shock, so we're really excited to try that out. The Ultimate's the only one that comes with the roof. So, you know, like if you buy a base model or if you even buy the premium comes with Ride Command but not shocks. You have to buy the Ultimate to get the shocks, where this one does come with the shocks and the roof. So this one has a 125-inch wheelbase on the 4-seater model. It's 157 inches overall. The dry weight's a little under 2,300 pounds. It's like 2,286 on the dry weight. So she's a big girl. She's big, she's heavy. This thing is 74 inches wide, so you kind of put that into consideration. So one of the reasons that I went with the Turbo R is you can just look at the overall beefiness of this unit compared to, say, a Pro XP or your standard XP 1000 razors. Even really comparable to the KRXs and the Can-Ams. Like, these things are built with super strength. This one does have the same platform as the Pro R, so it does have the shock that goes all the way to the lower A-frame. Your shaft goes through it. That gives you 16 inches of ground clearance overall. This thing has 27 inches in the front of usable travel. So, I mean, it has a lot more travel than a standard razor or even the X3s come with. So again, the Turbo R platform is built very similar to the Pro R platform. It does have, the Ultimate comes with super large radius rods. It does have a really nice trailing arm with the toe link built in, just like the Pro R. The rear on these, the way they come too, it's got over 28 inches of usable travel. So that, again, there's a lot of travel in these things that didn't come on standard units in the past. One thing that the Turbo R platforms come with, again, just like the Pro R, they are 5-lug. It has a unitized hub, so it doesn't have the standard wheel bearings that you're used to on side-by-sides. So it does have more of a 3-bolt flange car-style hub. The Turbo R is based off the same platform as the Turbo S, so it's a 181 horsepower turbo 2-cylinder engine. That's kind of the platform that Polaris has been using for quite a while. One thing I will say that the Turbo R did is people complained for years over the Turbo S over kind of gear reduction or some issues that they had. And I believe that Polaris listened to that, because low range in this, I believe, is right around a 30% gear reduction over a Turbo S, but they left high range the same. So in low range, it works really well, but in high range, you still have the top speed and overall drivability down the road. So same thing in the front, 5-lug design, unitized hub. One thing I do like, these come with 15-inch wheels. They come factory with 32-inch tires. So the overall, you know, this is stuff that we would put on our units after we bought them to get them this size. All this comes stock. If you kind of come look in here, one thing I'm really happy about on this is the sway bar. This thing has like a regular sway bar and kind of link system, more of like a trophy truck or a desert style racing setup in it. One thing I'll say Polaris improved upon, if you look here, they have a full like grill width radiator. So this thing actually, they've got it programmed into the fans and the cooling system. We've on the trails, we've never seen really over about 190 degrees. It runs cooler than that on the road, so it's actually a lot better for cab heat inside. And this one actually has a liquid cooled turbo, so that it uses the cooling system as well to cool the turbo down, that way that you don't have to worry about excessive heat on your exhaust side as well. So one of the reasons that we picked the Turbo R Ultimate is it comes with the Rockford Fosgate Stage 2 stereo system. So it has speakers in the dash, it has tweeters in the roll bar. The 4-seater actually comes with speakers behind the rear seats, where the 2-seater does not. This one is an added option, but we have installed the Stage 3 kit, which comes with the Rockford Fosgate amp and subwoofer that goes underneath the dash. I know there's a lot of stuff out there, but one of the things that we really liked about this is the fact that it comes with the Dynamics DV system. So you are able to switch between a track mode, a comfort mode, it has a rock mode, and a Baja mode. Now I have used the track and rock mode, and of course comfort. If you're going to ride around, comfort mode's really great. It's super soft. If you're going to go rock crawling, the one thing I do like about the rock crawling section is it's harder on the compression, and it will try to self-level itself as you're climbing around. But you have this system here, and it'll show you while you're cornering. It will show you the shocks changing as you're driving. You can also change the settings to while you're sitting here and see the angles that you're at, side to side and front to rear. So you were able to see our 4-seater Ultimate. That's the one that me and Lori bought. If y'all watch our TikTok, y'all seen this one. Damon bought this one a little while back. We were actually waiting to get both of them to kind of drop some info on it, but we are able to bring you the specs on a 2-seater. So this is a Turbo R, just like ours, but it's a 2-seater, and it's still an Ultimate with a different color design, but it has all the same thing. It still has the Dynamics DV system, it still has ride command, still has the audio system. He's actually added tower speakers in the back, but the 2-seaters do not come with rear speakers. That's one thing you got to realize. Even though they still call it a Stage 2 system, it does not come with rear speakers on a 2-seater. You can see his is already custom built a little bit. We just picked ours up, but he's already put a custom cage, obviously wheels and tires and rock sliders. These are Polaris rock sliders that he's built custom step plates on and then had them powder coated, because Polaris does not make this color that you can order from the factory. But this thing has a 96-inch wheelbase, so it is a little bit better than the older style Razors. It's 128 inches overall, and this thing has a 2,013 pound dry weight on it. So again, just like the 4-seater, she's still a big girl for a 2-seat model. Tanner? Well, Tanner couldn't make this review with us. He's got obligations like work and life and stuff. But
it happens.
It happens. Yeah, you got to pay for them KRXs. But we kind of wanted to bring you the reasons why. So you've seen that, like, I bought a Turbo R for Ultimate, me and Lori both. We sold both of ours. We went down to 1 ride. That's why we got the 4-seater. We have the kids. So instead of having 2 rides, we now have 1 ride that we can it's a lot easier for us to carry around. It's a lot easier for us to get to the locations, and it's only 1 ride to maintain between oils, filters, axles, front diffs. You know the deal.
Then the never-ending list.
But I do want to say this, like, if you know me and people that's watched or listened, I've done 2 things that I said I would never do. First and foremost, I did buy a 4-seater. Said I'd never own a 4-seater. Here I am. I also am a big believer in narrow machines. I like the 64 wide machines with a little bit of offset wheels, because we do ride at some places that do get tight. So for me to step out and buy a 74-inch machine is way out of my comfort zone. And then you add 2 extra seats and 20 plus inches of wheelbase to it. But kind of wanted to break it down at why I went this route. I did a lot of research, did a lot of looking online, and I decided that I wanted to go with the Turbo R platform mainly because of how strong and how well they are built. I looked at Pro XPs, I looked at, of course, XP 1000s, we looked at Can-Am X3s, we looked at KRX 4-seaters. I think the KRX 4-seater was the next comparable thing to it, but we didn't like the overall design of it. And even you can get electronic shocks, but they're still not to the level that the Polaris has in it. So that's kind of the reason that I decided the Turbo R platform. They're way beefier, they're way stronger. If I would have bought a XP 4-seater, I would have had to spend the extra money that this cost over an XP 4-seater to get it to the strength that this one is. So that's why I picked out mine.
Same thing. By the time you spend the money into air arms, trailing arms, beefing everything up to make a 1000 comparable to what we do, you can buy this straight off manufacturer, everything you need.
And I wasn't against a Pro XP 4-seater. The only problem I have with the Pro XP 4-seater, well, there's more than one problem. They're only 64 wide. I was going to step out to a 72-inch unit the next time. I went a 74 at this rate. But they're also still kind of smaller and weaker. And a lot of people are saying for what they have to do to crawl in the wash, you have to do a gear reduction. And I really hate to buy a brand spanking new unit and start tearing it apart. One thing I have learned over the years of riding and the years of buying different units, it's a lot smarter to buy it from the beginning than build it over time.
Yes.
Damon's here with me, obviously. He's the one that had the blue high lifter in the past. Y'all know me from the Lime Squeeze Razor. We both had tons of upgrades, tons of parts. Sadly enough, I mean, one thing that he says is for what he paid for his new unit, he had that over the years building his other unit up. That still
wasn't what these the new ones are.
Yeah.
I mean, the new Turbo R's from factory, you can go and put a 37-inch tire on it.
Yes.
I mean, that's ridiculous that from factory, there you go.
And you see his in the video, so you can see that he's already on 35s. He's on 10-inch wide wheels, so he's actually 84 inches wide right now. But it fits 35-inch stock. We've already been on one ride. It pulls 35-inch Zillas very well on stock clutching and stock power. So I mean, they're very capable rigs. Polaris took in a lot of consideration over the complaints of the years of what people had issues with, especially with the Turbo S. This is a Turbo S, but on a better platform. I think the body designs look a lot better. The cabs look a lot better.
You can't beat the gearing.
The low gear is perfect.
Is all you need.
And the Turbo S did come with electronic shocks, but not to this level. So this one does have the electronic shocks. Like I said, it has a rock mode, which hasn't been in the past. It does have a button on the steering wheel, what they call, Polaris actually calls it an oh shit button as well. You can hold that down, it goes full compression to try to save you from any situation that you're in. So like I said, we've been on one ride. As always, we'll drop some of those clips in here before we actually post the riding video, so you can kind of see how these things work in stock form. And when I say in stock form, mine's all stock. Damon is on 35. We did go hit some trails that we have actually never been able to climb in our other units that were built.
Yeah.
So this thing in stock form did better than my built unit, either the X3 or the XP 1000 did in its previous in my previous rides. So this thing's way better from the beginning.
Straight off the showroom floor, these things are very impressive.
The 4-seater, you know, like I know a lot of people run 4-seaters. I did feel really stable and capable in it, especially being 74 wide, 120 plus inch wheelbase. I was a lot more stable in a lot of situations than Damon was. And you'll see in a couple, in our riding video, only me and him went on a ride. I say me and him. Damon and Sissy went, me and Lori went, but as far as rides, we only had 2 units. I was really, really surprised, even on stock 32s, where Damon would struggle with his 2-seater, the 4-seater would actually overcome that.
Walk right through it.
And where the 4-seater struggled, the 2-seater would walk right through it. So, I mean, you can see the difference between the two. You just kind of pick which way you really want to go with that.
Yeah, there's not a perfect all-around ride. One's going to struggle at one point or the other.
Right. But I will say, like I said, watch the riding video that comes out. It'll have all the full clips of those hills and trails that we did, so you can see how well they work, and you can compare two side by side right there together. As always, we appreciate y'all watching. If you like what we have to offer, please click the subscribe button. It really helps us out. Leave a comment, like the video. You know, just show us some support, because we want to bring you more and more content, and we want to show you more and more what we have to offer. just threw a boulder down the hill. You got it, you got it.